What would I like to see less of on social media? I could go with the obvious choice and say the drama and freestyle, but honestly, what I would like to see the see less of would be like racism and unconscious racism. Like a lot of things people post are very racially insensitive, and it's caused me to look at a lot of people, friends, fans in a certain light, even some family members, because of the things that they post and they say. And we're all in this thing together, and I just think we should be mindful of stuff like that. I have a saying where I say, people say, well, they always say, this is my Facebook, I can post what I want, I can do what I want, I can say what I want. And I always use this analogy. I say, you can walk around in your house butt ass naked with no clothes on. But if you open the windows and the front door and you're walking around naked, you can be arrested for exposing yourself to your neighbors. So I use that analogy with what you post on your Facebook. Yeah, it's your business. It's your business for sure, and it's you're allowed to, but be mindful that other people can see it and they might not want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So that's yo, what's up, Jose?
How did you know that I was naked from the bottom down? I don't understand. Are you here?
How
Let
did
me
how did I
know
know what?
that I was naked from the bottom down and showing my neighbors. I don't.
Hey man, it was just a good guess.
The hubris, right? The hubris.
The hubris makes you take your clothes off.
It desecrates the line.
Yo, what's up, Chris?
Hey
Celebrating
man,
your boy John Castillo, bro. Happy birthday, John.
it's funny the comment you made that people go on social media on their own page and says, I can post whatever I want. But then it's like, when somebody is on your Facebook page, it's like they're coming over to your house, right? Um,
Exactly.
and it's fine. That's why I don't follow anyone. I don't like to follow anyone. I like to let I don't follow them, and I don't have a lot of people on my timeline because having somebody on your social media is like having somebody come into your house, right? But here's the thing: if you write something, which I've done recently, if I write something that people get triggered by, they'll go in there and write something and then run away, and then they'll disrespect me and my timeline, and that's okay. But
Right.
don't you dare respond to anything that they say on social media that they put on social media on purpose for a response.
Exactly. Oh man, the world to win. But yeah, but that's what I always say. So I'm very mindful of like certain things that I write, certain things I post, certain things I say. I mean, my mother and my father are on my Facebook. So
Yeah, you have family members that check in on you and they're like, "Are you okay?" And that people don't understand also that you have colleagues that you work with or people
yes,
that you work with on a day-to-day basis. Side note, how sucky is this Moon Knight? My goodness, I can't get through these episodes. They're terrible. I guess I have to start over
I,
again.
I've been trying to like it. I'm forcing myself to like it, and it's not working.
I'm gonna have to start all over again from the beginning and just try to watch it again because there's a hippopotamus in this thing now. I'm done. Um. Anyway, so the social media that we're in right now, it's more sensitive than ever, but
Yes.
more vocal than ever at the same time. So people want to be vocal, they just don't want to be challenged with the things
Right.
that they say, even if most of the stuff that they say is pure, you know, garbage or unfounded or not factual at all. We get that in freestyle every day. We
Every
got
day,
every day we
multiple
got
times a day.
yes, every day we got people coming from 30 years ago, 25 years ago, people that were, like I always make this joke, but people that were on High Productions, uh, Tango Volume 4, and they're coming now all these years later, and they're on social media talking about that they're legends now in the business.
Yeah.
And and so to those people, I also asked last week, how many people can you guarantee you can get to come and see you? How many asses and seats can you put
Yeah,
in to the venue?
you was trying to start trouble with that question, man.
No, because there are so many cocky people on social media in the freestyle community, especially the new artists, right? And they find 30 people that like them, and that's awesome. You're supposed to build your fan base, but then it's like no one can even talk to you. Um, there's a producer on social media that if you like one of his comments, he's gonna go on live and give you a 1 hour and 15 minutes dissertation on how great he is. You know what I mean? So it's that type of situation. Like, it's like there's no more work to be done. I'm already all set. Let's just move on to
Right.
the next thing because I'm already killing
It's
it.
it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So you're dating us talking about Henrietta Hippo. That's like the new Zoo Review, right? Oh my God, you really telling our age by saying that. But but back on but back on that topic. I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and I won't say the name or anything like that. But they're an artist, and they're in a certain situation where they're not performing much, and they want to perform, but their label and things like that don't really want them to perform for less than what they have designated that they're worth. And I remember lots of times, and we all talked about this not too long ago, where we talk about paying dues and things of that nature, where I have done shows for less than what I believe I'm worth.
Right.
Because if I put a number on what I'm worth, no one would afford me in my mind of what I'm worth.
Everybody wants 5 grand. Everybody wants to be paid top dollar, right? But
Right.
here's the thing. Here's the situation here, especially in my area of New England. For those of you that don't know me, I've been on FM radio since I was 17 years old. That's 30 years of me being on the radio. I started at the basement of my high school playing freestyle, and I went to a station in Massachusetts in Holyoke, 103.5. Then I moved into 90.7. Now I'm on Party 101.9 and also on our friends at Hot 97.7. So it's this type of situation where I take it out of take my time to promote people correctly on a weekly basis, right? But those people that I open the doors to my area, Massachusetts and Connecticut, where people
Right.
are listening to us still on radio, um, those are the people that I build. I said, give me 6 months. Don't come here. Give me 6 months. I'll build you up. When you come here, people will sing your song. And then when it's all said and done, um, they want to then turn around and be like, "Oh, no, I want $1,000 to come and perform where your area is." I'm like, "I'm sorry, that's not how it works. Look, I spend a few $1,000s a year myself promoting freestyle music. Right now, like I'm putting all our stuff everywhere. We just did a episode of Love and Freestyle Live, and now it's on YouTube and is also on Spotify.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. You did do that.
yeah. So, and my podcast, every week you have a new podcast with the latest freestyle music that's out there, the quality stuff. Not something that, I don't need artists to be friends with me or to like me or to give me money or whatever the case would be for me to play them. The only rule that I have is that they have to have quality freestyle and it has to
Right.
be a great song. And now, I'm building it by a scale. I have a panel of 22 people that I send the songs to, and depending on the results, I also determine whether they're good to go. I don't play nothing that's less than a 7. I won't say what is scaled or scored what, but that's just the rules that I've come up with
Right.
because of social media. But you can't you have to work with the area that is trying to build that freestyle community. I made this comparison a few days ago with our friends from Lit Entertainment. Like Lit Entertainment is trying to build Detroit right now. So there are people right now that want to kill the market. They want to go get that fast payday, make that amount that they ask them to make. When the night comes, nobody's going to show up. No one will be there, and then the entertainment now has to start all over again, trying to rebuild because the person that they booked couldn't get 25 people in the building,
Right.
and they did everything in their power to try to promote them, but they said I want $2,500. So the reason they have that gall to do that is because they're a new artist and 30 people are on social media saying they're great.
Yeah, they're
So
hot. They're
yeah,
fire.
they're fire,
Fire.
you know.
That's the
And
new
so
word.
now it's like that's not how I work, but I know that there are many people that are inexperienced that I've given a lot of advice to that they don't listen to at all until it happens to them. And
Right.
because right now everybody's working through that whole notion of you have to go through it first. So now I no longer give advice. I let people go through it.
Let them, yeah.
But
But
the bottom line is the artist has to work. If you know there's a booming area where street style is being played weekly for 6 hours a week, and there's a fan base there, you got to find a way to work with the promoters and get yourself there. Chicago's a great place too.
yeah, which I'll be
You
there May 29th.
yes, yeah, I saw that. I love
shameless,
that.
shameless plug. Oh,
Yeah,
but hold on.
I love that.
Liz has a good question. She says, "Do you feel a record label should have that much control over your artistry because you have basically signed yourself away to them?"
Okay, so there are no such things as a record label, not in freestyle. There is no, you could see all these different record labels that are out there. There is no such thing as a freestyle record label.
Well,
There's what, one, two, maybe? There's cutting, there's artistic, there's 418. I mean, those are legitimate that people that get a payout at the end, right? Whether it be $30
right,
or whatever the case may be. But um, there's nothing that anyone can promise you that you can't do for yourself if you
exactly,
invest in yourself. I see
exactly,
Jenaro putting out his music and the same results that other people paid thousands of dollars for to some fake entertainment company or record label is the same result that he gets by going out and co-producing his own new song and then putting it out on CD and digital and making his money that way and getting his bookings.
yeah. Now back to bookings. So the one thing I told the person was this. I said, what people have to keep in mind is, let's just say you're a an artist, and let's just say you do have a little bit of a fan base, but you're not of a certain level yet. If someone's willing to give you $300 to come out and perform, and you can sell your merchandise, and you've never been there, I say take it. And I'm going to tell you why. My philosophy, remember, I used to say, I'd rather do 10 shows a year for $500 than do 2 shows for $1,000 a piece.
Right. Why is
That's
that?
because A, you've made more money in the long run. But besides that, you put yourself in front of more people. You've expanded your fan base, which now turns into more bookings. That gets you brought back. That gets you where you can say, hey, I proved I can put 100 people in this building. That's now you have something to build your brand off of. Now you can say, okay, I charge XYZ because you've proven yourself. But
Right.
when you just come out and you dupe somebody, because I've seen a lot of promoters get duped where they think because of this social media thing, they think an artist is hot and they take them to their town that no one's ever heard the song, they know
Absolutely right.
nothing about them, and 25 people show up and the promoter loses all this money, everything else. You think you're coming back?
Nope. And Liz wanted me to answer the question. So the answer is no. There shouldn't be anyone having the control to tell you what to do with your career and what is the fee that you should charge. Now, I go back to the discussion we had a couple of days ago. We have artists that are from the first generation, the legends, that are now here in 2022 that did a song back in 1992, and they're like, why am I not being booked at the concerts? why am I not getting the fee that I want? It's because you're not doing something called a reintroduction, right?
Yeah.
You have to reintroduce yourself. Look, if you've been gone for a while, people forget you. They might remember the name. For the most part, when I'm on the radio, I get the request for, Stevie B, Dream Boy, Dream Girl.
Exactly.
Because people know the lyrics, they don't know the artist sometimes. And if you went away for a while and you were doing other types of music, you can't expect to come back to this music now and be booked or get cut to the front of the line, where the people that have been here putting in the work are going to now have to take a back seat to you, because and of course there are absolute exceptions, right? But you can't tell me that someone that had a song in 1992 can bring more people to a venue than someone that has been in their face for 25 years plus. So I could book Willie Valentine and Cynthia Figueroa and get 350 people in a club, or I can book this artist and I may get 200 maybe. You know what I
Maybe.
mean?
Right.
Maybe, right? So and I would spend quadruple the money probably, because with Willie Valentine, he takes his fee and he minimizes the fee because he puts in that caveat. I'm gonna go sell my merch, and then in
Right.
the end, he makes more than he was gonna make that night. And not only that, the most important part is you leave there with an audience loving you and with something in hand. They left with your CD
Exactly.
in hand. So they're going to be listening to that CD. So, yeah, they were a fan of Stevie B. Yeah, they're a fan of TKA, but they left with a Willie Valentine CD. So now they're going to be
Right.
listening to Willie Valentine. So whenever there's house parties or whatever the case may be, and I can tell you that when How I Love Thee by Willie Valentine was released, a song written by Artie Rodriguez on Freestyle Parade 2K1, that song for many years became the wedding song for so many people because we played it. It's a song that has wedding bells in the beginning, or the church bongs or whatever that Artie put on there, and people just loved it. And not only did they buy it when they saw Woody at the festivals, right?
Yeah.
But they also made it their own. They made it part of their family. So now here we are, all these years later. 2K1 was released, 21 years ago, and now people are still celebrating that song. People still have the CD, and people still want to listen to Stevie B and the Willie Valentine song. So it's all about leaving that club or leaving that interaction with that fan loving you and wanting to
Right.
know more about you and follow you.
Right. I mean, and like you said, put in the work and stuff like that's important. And I'm not saying this to throw shot to anybody, but I did a show I did a show last year in Philly. Very small place. I was the only person. I was the headliner, etc., etc. I packed the place. You fast forward a few months back, they brought 3 people, and they didn't even have half the people that I
Right,
had.
and
And
so
and
and it's because of that online hype. Now I don't know what show you're talking about. I don't know
yeah,
who the
we'll
artist.
talk about it behind the scenes. But
I don't know. I don't know what. No, I just want to make it clear. I don't know what artist you're talking about, because I'm going to say something on here, and then whoever was on that bill, you made that area. You know what I mean? That area where you were booked, you made that area because you walked those blocks. You met those people. Those people were in. You endear those people to you,
yes,
and that's the reason why you can pack a place like that, in that area. It may not be the same here, but we're gonna know that, and you've done one of my shows and you've seen that you do get a crowd. People do know your music, and we build it so people could come and see you. Now,
right,
it takes time to do that, and that's why at that time when pain came, you guys did what you needed to do to work with me to get you here. But it's all about that synergy of of having that communication. Now, the online hype on social media kills everything because everything is fire, like you say, and everything is 10, right?
fire,
So
Maria, fire.
So George Anthony has a brand new song, a song called "Love So Crazy." It's a good solid song, you know what I mean? But it's not
Yeah.
the best song on George Anthony's catalog, right? So
No.
when the fan base is like fire, fire, 10, 10, 10, whatever. So you're telling George Anthony there's no more room for improvement. You've arrived. You have no other work to do. You know what I mean? He's not the type of person or artist that's gonna fall on that on those laurels. But there are some, and those three people that performed in your area, maybe some of those same artists that will believe the hype and charge their fee, and then get there, and then nothing happens.
Yeah. And with that being said, now there's certain places I'm going to go to, and Gennaro is going to have to fall on his sword, and he's going to have to say, I'm going to take a pay cut, or I'm going to do a deal where I'm going to try to make sure I can sell my merch and do this.
Right.
But because I want to put myself in a certain place so that I can increase my exposure, I'm willing to do that. My ego isn't so far gone that I'm going to be like, oh, I'm Gennaro from Pain, and you have to pay me, blah, 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 blah. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I take that stance all the time, I'm going to lose out on some pretty good opportunities. And there's a lot of opportunities that I've had because I've been very willing to work with promoters. And, just because I know, look, perception is what 99% of the reality,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's perception is part of the reality. So if people see you everywhere and regardless of how you got there, it creates this mystique that you are an in-demand artist and you're an artist that people want to see. So put your asses in front of the people.
Right. And one thing that I want to say is that there are a lot of legends too that are coming back right now, and they're doing that whole situation where they feel like they should get cuts and booked at all these shows, but they're not reintroducing themselves, nor are they working with the promoters. They're actually, reading statements that are negatively showing these promoters, in on social media. And the thing about social media is that if somebody's a fan of yours, they're going to believe what you say, even if it's not true or factual, or if it's something that's unfounded, and if it's just an assumption that you're making. So so the artist was like, I'm not being booked because I'm not kissing butt, or because I don't get along with certain people, or whatever the case may be. But I get promoters that call me and say, that's not the reason why that artist is not being booked. Here's the reason why I don't book this artist, and they give you a list of the reasons why. They're
Right.
difficult. They're difficult. They only want red M&Ms, they're not very friendly. One thing that I will say this, right? When I put a show together, I want to put artists that are gonna be in their VIP section, but when they come out, they're gonna be about the audience and the experience. I don't want artists that are gonna just pass by the audience and think that they don't have to connect anymore, or that they're
Exactly.
there to see them, or that, again, 25 years ago, or 30 years ago, or 35 years ago, they had a song out and it was on commercial radio, and now they're coming back and it's like, I need 10 grand, and please don't have nobody touch me. You know what I mean? And not being friendly to the audience. Um, that's why any club that I open, the first person that I'm gonna book when I open up a club, or when I start doing shows again, it will be Cynthia. Because with Cynthia, first of all, I'm gonna make my money. Number two, she is the friendliest. I don't know how she is personally. Just want to say that. Personally, she treated me like a queen, like a king. She's been very dream girl like. Every time that I
Right.
have
Right.
any interaction with her, she's never shown me any side of her that has not been dream girl like, right? So my personal experiences with her have been perfect, right? My fans, or the people that listen to my show that have come to see her perform at my shows, they love her. You know, no issue, cool, calm, collected. She knows how to handle herself, always with the people, always being friendly. That smile is killer. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a night where people are gonna go home and they're gonna be typing that they had a great time.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you see some people on social media lately that went to another show and they were completely crapping on the artists that were there because of
I've
their behavior.
I've gotten into arguments with promoters because they tried to trap me in a VIP and did not want me to interact with the artists. I've literally
Right.
got into arguments because of that. I'm like, it's not what I do. It's not what I do. When I came to your show, I was dancing with some girl and her mom when we did
Yeah.
your show. Like,
And they will never forget that. And those people will call the station and they will say, "Can you play that song, Come On Ma, by Pain?" You know,
right,
and you
right. But it's I always try to be, yeah. There's a mystique that you have to have as an artist, but I am very approachable. I'm just a regular guy from Camden, New Jersey. I mean, I'll come out there. I'll interact with anybody. I'll socialize. I'll take pictures. I'll sign stuff. I'm never too busy for it because these people that's our lifeblood.
yeah.
Without them, we can't do this.
Liz has a great question. She says, "How do you feel the shows have changed because of the pandemic, and how do you feel it'll be moving forward?" The pandemic has changed, the world in so many ways. If you would like to answer this, because this is your show, I'll let you go first. But I have a perfect answer for this. So,
Uh, for me, I only did really like I did two shows like in the deep in the pandemic. I didn't do too many. Post pandemic, I've done a few, and I will say I can't say a lot has changed. Uh, Honestly, for me, a lot hasn't changed on the artist side. I don't know far as the attendees how much things have changed, but as an artist, it hasn't really changed much at all on my end. Now, I will say I have a theory on why shows are very successful today, why they're so packed, and people have all these theories behind it. The real reason is because most of us who enjoy this music are between a certain age right now. So before everything slowed down and died down, it didn't have nothing to do with freestyle music. It had to do with the fact that people were working and taking care of their kids, et cetera, et cetera. Now most of us who are a certain age, sorry Maria, our kids are grown or older. So now the parents have more free time again. They have more disposable income, and
yeah,
they're able to the nostalgia factor. They're able to embrace that music of their youth again and relive that time of fun and good times again because they have more free time. That's why the shows are doing good.
I
Seeing
love
me,
I love that. I love the fact that the shows are back. But it's for me as a promoter, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you've
right,
seen you've seen the shows come back, right? And I've seen some where some people have taken shots at the people that were at the show because somebody ended up getting COVID,
COVID,
right?
yeah,
Right. So it's like, okay, but if you're going out, there are precautions that you take. And so if you don't take those precautions and you end up getting infected or whatever the case may be, that is a personal responsibility. That's a risk now that you have to balance out. So I haven't put a show together myself because I don't want to have a show, have a great time, then the next day somebody's going to go on social media and bash me because they got COVID because they wanted to be on everybody's face,
yeah,
and talking to them without covering their mouth or without having a mask on. You know what I mean?
right,
Because the people are now with the mask mandate and all this other stuff, how they've been fighting for all these years. But not having a mask on has given people the green light to be pigs again. You know what I mean?
right.
Some people, right? I went to Target a few days ago. The wind was blowing. I'm walking towards the Target area. The wind is blowing opposite me. I see three people walking my way. There's a 6'5" gentleman, no mask, next to an African American gentleman and his wife, right? He sneezes. I mean, he sneezed really hard, right?
Oh no.
And it went forward, but then the wind was so, that it went back. So it hit his wife, it hit him in the face, and it hit his friend in the face too, the African American gentleman, right? So, so again, this is the reason why, like, I don't trust freestyle shows at clubs, right? Because of the fact that I love and I want to see people, but I know people don't want to be safe, and there are a bunch of pigs out there, right? Second story, I go to the gas station, have my jacket on, I'm trying to pay my lottery number or whatever. Behind me, this woman is coughing her lung out. She has no mask, and my jacket is waving in and out of my back. That's how much the wind of that is happening, right? Plus, there's nothing worse than freestyle breath. I know. So let me tell you
That's
what
the thing.
freestyle.
Freestyle
Let me tell.
breath.
Let me tell you what freestyle breath is. Right? Is that person right that says hi to you and continues to say hi to you for the remainder of the time that you're at the club.
Oh,
There are some people that is like, "Hello, how you doing? Nice to meet you," blah blah blah. But freestyle breath is that constant person that's talking to you, and then it comes in flavors, right? They have the alcohol flavored spittle, so it's like pop 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 pop, and then you're trying to move back a little bit, but
you're
if you move
killing
back
me.
a little bit, if you move back a little bit, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what's going on? You're being rude." I'm like, "Dude, you're spitting in my face." You know what I mean? So that was
Yeah.
pre-COVID. That's pre-COVID. Like the freestyle breath. Everybody trying to get all close to you. So I could only imagine now how it's gonna be in the club with people with no mask on trying to talk to you. Can you play Spring Love, please? How you doing, CPR? I'm like, yeah, call me Jose. Call me Jose, please.
Yeah, man. It's a crazy world that we are fortunate to and unfortunate to be part of.
Yeah, man. And I look forward to shows, and I look forward to people who are keeping themselves safe, having a safe time in the community. And I hope the people that chose not to, get vaccinated or whatever, that they also keep themselves safe. Because it isn't that I'm scared or anything like that, or that I have all these different beliefs. I have respect for whatever decision an adult makes, but I also want you to be aware of my decision as an adult. I don't want
Right.
to. I don't want you on in my face. You know what I mean? I don't want you talking to me in my face like before. You can't. I don't want to smell what kind of beer you drank tonight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's my issue with the club. But the difference is right now is that the clubs are packed, but we need to keep ourselves safe, and keep
True.
each other safe, and that's important. And
Yeah, we can't let our guard down too much just yet.
yeah, yeah, it's like everybody's having a good time. You see 30,000 people at these stadium shows, and you see the clubs really packed now, and I'm happy about that because it means that people are ready to have a good time. But it also worries me that some people are not going to take care of themselves, and somebody might lose their life because they wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
And another reason why it's packed is because people have to interact with each other. You have to crash into each other, in ways where you have to interact, because that's what we're made to do. We're social people. We gotta socialize.
Right.
And people miss that for so many years. Two of them.
S- So somebody's asking a question. Maria, she said that, do you block people you don't know, fans of freestyle, for following other people that you may not get along with?
I block anyone who doesn't appreciate what hardworking people in the freestyle genre are doing. People that are actually making a difference. If you're the type of person that are just going to follow somebody willingly, right, and you're not going to question anything, that's not the type of person that I want on my timeline. Someone that, if I'm making a point about freestyle, they're going to come in there and go, team this, team that. Oh, how come you're not playing this song? Oh, you hate me. All that stuff. That stuff, I don't want to see. And yeah, man, I've blocked a lot of people lately, because I don't want to see it on my timeline. It's 3 years of buffoonery and 3 years of stunts that have not worked, not for anyone.
Well, I can, again, I've not really been a blocker too much, but as I told you before, I do understand in your position why you have to do some of that stuff, and I guess I'll answer too, because um, it gets to be a lot. It gets to be a lot, and if you're, and I know you are, you're constantly bombarded by a lot of stuff from so many different directions that it's like you have a job to do, and in my opinion, it's a very important job. And if you allow the distractions and certain things, it takes away from what we're supposed to be doing. And I do know some people who probably have suffered because of it, because they get blocked. Because I don't think a lot of people realize the and you know I hate this stuff. Like certain allegiances and certain alliances have been very detrimental
Right.
in this. Because I will say this. There's some people, and I won't say their names. There's some people who I have never blocked or anything like that. But I kind of don't think they even should be in freestyle anymore because of some of
Yes.
the things that they did, and it's like all of a sudden freestyle forgets. Like, and I don't forget. Like I
Right.
remember certain people standing next to very bad people and co-signing things that they were saying, even though you knew it wasn't true. And now these same people are they're now against the people who they were co-signing for.
Yeah.
So
So I don't have any room for new friends in freestyle.
yeah,
If you
so
want to
it's
if you want to send me the music, send it. If you don't want to send it, don't send it. Like
yeah,
I posted that comment a couple of days ago about how many people can you guarantee will come to the show to see you if I book you, and then a producer came in there to attack me about a song that I didn't play. They
I
were they
saw
were
that. I saw that.
they were not very specific, but I'm sure if the song wasn't good, that's the only reason why I didn't play it. And if the
Yeah,
artist was acting like a fool on social media and being disrespectful, or if so there was a time where I would judge whether I wanted to promote someone, and here's the reason why. So you have a responsibility as an artist, and if you're gonna use my airwaves for me to bring you an audience, and then you're gonna use that audience to empower them to attack other people, or empower them to fight your fight, or use them for all these homosexuals, the ones that want to have relationships with people so they can have a roof over their heads. You know,
and, and he said hobosexuals.
that's
Not
right. Hobo,
homo. I don't want people to think that he said the wrong thing.
hobo,
Hobosexuals. That
HOBO.
means someone who wants to. They will get with you for a place to stay.
Yes. So we have all that, and I don't want people to use my airways for me to get them an audience, so then they can do these tricks or whatever. Because there's a lot of scammers in
Well,
freestyle. Go ahead.
yeah, but they're saying like, but what about that's they're saying but what about the room for the new fans? They're not understanding why some of the fans are blocked if they're not really involved in the hoopla, I guess.
Or the reason why fans are blocked is because they believe what the artist says, and then they fight the good fight for that artist. So, for
Right.
example, a few days ago, we had one of the legends go on social media and says, "I received a letter from a fan, and they were disappointed because I'm not booked." And then everybody in there is going, "Yeah, go for it! How dare they treat you like this?" They don't even know what's going
They
on. They
don't even
don't
know
know
what's
any.
going on.
They don't know
Nope.
nothing about behind the scenes. They don't know nothing about anything. And it's like that's not the way that you manipulate your audience to get to where you want to be. And the manipulation is there on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I always tell people, if you're my friend, don't get into any of the beefs that I get into online. I take responsibility for all my comments, and I take responsibility for anything that I do or say. It's a fracking frat levers rules from back in the day. It's a show that we started, the first ever freestyle talk show that we had to stop because after 10 episodes, the harassment that my co-host got and myself got, terrible. And so it wasn't doing anything for our music. Now we have CPR's Clubhouse Live on YouTube and on Spotify, the video versions of it. And we try to have discussions about things like the freestyle remix discussion that we had last week.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, like I do block idolers, people that idolize people that they shouldn't idolize. If you're with the emergency broadcast system, and all you do is hang around with the emergency broadcast system, and you go to their lives and stuff like that, and you're chanting and championing what they say, I can't take you seriously because all that stuff is not true. That's like what is that guy that got into trouble for giving false news? About the government and things like that. That they had him on YouTube and they took
Snow,
him out.
Snowden? Was it Snowden?
Not Snowden. That was a guy that ended up going to another country. but Infowars, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, Infowars.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So the freestyle,
Jones, something Jones.
the freestyle broadcasting system. I'm changing the name.
I know.
It's all false information that is never researched, and people believe it and just run with it. I was accused of so many things in that show, right? And even though the show's died down and the people that follow it have died down, there are still people that don't like me, who have never met me, because of something that they heard there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so those people come on my live or on my messenger and they start typing some really ridiculous stuff. So yeah, you have to block people that follow
yeah.
others. You know.
I got you. I got you. Where was I? I know I had a thought and I just lost it.
Sorry,
Damn
man.
it.
I'm very passionate about freestyle, and I know that I just keep rambling on,
No,
but
man.
I do have points though. It isn't like
I know.
I'm not making points.
As do we all, because as we said, freestyle freestyle seems to forget a lot of stuff, and I got a very good memory, and
It seems to me, it seems to me like now we have to come on freestyle boards and on lives, and we have to have our resume out, right? So I have to come on and say, before we get started, my name is CPR Jose Ortiz. I've been on FM radio for so many years. My radio station is 4,000 watts. You can drive 45 minutes any videos, any direction from the radio station, and you can listen to us. I have a podcast. I'm on two other additional radio stations. I mean, I gave George Anthony his name, GA. Like, you got to give your whole resume. I have 3 compilations out. Like, you got to give your resume for people to understand that when you come on here to talk about this genre of music, or as so many people say, genre of music,
the
that
genre.
the genre of music, um, and I say that kiddingly because I know Nelson Rego says it a lot, but that I know, and I'm coming from experience because I've done this every week since 17 years of age.
Well, Jose de Valle said, "Come show me the way" is dope. So just for the
Come
record.
on, ma. No, I truly, truly love the song, right? But for me, when I first heard it back then,
I know, I know.
I just thought that the rap like took away from the
Took away
song,
from it.
because pain is a certain way, right? And I wasn't ready to accept them being something different. Now, the vision that has been put forth is there, and you're carrying that with your next song, which is a great song. And like I said before, it just proves that you're right up there. There's no weak link in pain. You're on the same level to me as Cito ever was, and for me to ever think that you were the Marty Jannetty of the group, I was wrong.
Hey,
Now,
it's all right, man. Look.
if you want to talk about other groups like the ones on Tango Records, then we can talk about that.
Well, come show me the way, and people, you can go YouTube this song after the interview if you never heard it. But the funny thing with that song, I always say it's like the reintroduction of pain back to the freestyle community. I was producing that song on my own. Cito at that time again had quit.
Yeah,
And I basically had a bunch of he sang all these acapellas for me. I had his vocals, and I went in and I was just producing songs. And I went in to produce "Come Show Me the Way." And the very first version that I produced, I wish I would have kept it because I could just show you how bad it was. And I remember this is when I was like, I have to produce, because I went into the studio and I actually let Rob just do what he does. I'm like, okay, Rob, make me a song. Because the Tasmanian guys would just make us a song and whatever, whatever.
right.
And I remember I went back home and I was listening to it and I was like, this is terrible. It's trash. So I go back to the studio the next day and I say, yo, he said, what do you think? Did you really listen to it? I said, yeah. I said, I hate it. He's like,
Yeah,
what? I said, I hate all of it. And he says to me, he goes, well, you like anything? And I said, well, I think the drums are okay. He was like, that's it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to just play the drums and I'm going to just mess with different sounds because I know you love sounds, and until something jumps out at you, then we'll go from there. So he's playing all these different sounds and he's just hitting keys and I'm blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden he just lands on this one and goes da 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 da, and he goes to something else and I'm like, no, the other thing. He's like this. I'm like, no, the other thing. He's da da da. I said, yeah, that. He's like, what do you want me to do? I said, I don't know yet. I said, but that's just dope. I said, I love that sound. So he goes and he starts trying to play like a pattern with it.
And I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, just hit it once. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I was like, yeah. He's like, I think I know what you want. He goes, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. I was like, that's it. And I knew I had a song.
And that's what captivated me to that song and attracted me to that song immediately. And
Yeah.
then the build up, and then that beat, that bass, that thump, and then the voices come in. Man, smooth.
And, and I was never originally going to sing on the song myself because I had Cito wrote that song, and I literally had him he sang the whole thing from front to back, and I produced around it. And then when he came back and he joined back up, we recorded all the vocals again. And he was trying to do the hook, the "Come Show Me the Way" parts, and he was in the booth and he was doing it over and over. It just wasn't coming out right. I'm just sitting out there, and I'm like, I think I know what you want to do. And he was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it. And I literally just go in and I do the "Come Show Me the Way and Shed Some Light for Me," and they were like, "That's it." And I was like, "Okay," but I just love the song the way it was. I never was gonna sing on it, and that brings us back to that thing where I said I was never like I need to shine a light on myself. I was like, I just love that song so much from the way that I made it. I was like, I don't need to be on it, but in reality, I needed to be on it because he as great a vocals as he is, he was not getting that part right. It just was not coming out right. And I went in and did it, and him and Rob was like, "Oh, that's it."
I love that song, and without the rap, of course. But
Yeah.
um, I
I'm gonna
also
send you
love.
the one without the rap, so I gotta remember
I'm
to do that.
waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I was thinking about it today. But there's another song that you recorded a video to that has a unique pattern. It's freestyle,
Believe,
but it's so good. The one that you have a video for, you come out in cars.
believe.
Believe, right? So I'm googling it right now. I'm trying to look because I forgot the name of the song. But it's funny how like people forget great songs. And "Pain Believe" was an amazing song, right? And
And,
it was a 6-year-old song that people forgot about already. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
and
And I wish
it has a great video. I still think we should have won Video of the Year for that, but I mean, I feel like I was robbed.
who got the video of the year.
I think it might have been Sammy's own.
That's because he had guests in there, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Who gave
overall,
him
I
that?
thought
Who gave him that award?
I don't remember who it was.
Hopefully it wasn't me because I'll take it back.
I don't think it was you.
I'll
But
take it back.
the song "Believe," right? The beat that you hear, that's actually my brother beating on a table.
Nice. I always liked it because it reminded me of Drumline.
Yeah, my brother took a microphone. He beat on a table.
Yeah, if anybody wants to check it out, check out "Pain Believe." I'm gonna try to do a few shows where I bring back songs that are
Uh,
underrated and
that
people
people
forgot.
forgot about.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of songs that people have forgotten. People have forgotten about "Wild Style" already. "Take You Home." People
It's a
have
great
forgotten.
song.
Yeah, UVUK "Blink," which I love that song. The Rock Project featuring Tina Arena.
Never.
Paradigm featuring Stephanie Bennett, "Back for My Love."
Yep.
Caprice, "There Goes Your Heart." I mean, I can go on all day. I'm just thinking, Tamara, "Never Gonna Let You Go."
Yeah, that's a
It's
lot,
just,
man. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, I never heard this. I never heard this." That's
mhm.
exactly what's gonna happen.
It's a reintroduction. I mean, people are still playing songs from 2019 that they think they're still new, and they ask me how come this song is not on the countdown, and I'm like, well, it was from 4 years ago. Thank you for catching up. You should be listening to my show every week, and you'll know what's new and what's not.
Well, man, that everything that comes out is fire. I'm not even gonna ask your opinion on some songs. We're gonna
You
talk.
can, you can. You go ahead, give me a
No,
list. I'm ready.
no, I'm not doing it.
I'm ready. Listen. Give me any song you want. I'll give you my advice. I will say this, right? Um, the one of the negative things that I see in freestyle will make it appear like I'm hating, right? But I see other people doing countdowns, right? And
Yeah,
and it's like you just don't put anybody on the countdown because you want to be friends with them or because they have a new song and they title it freestyle. You want to at least have a song that, like I said before, is a 7 or above, and that you are working right for people to give you feedback on. Um, I'll give you a song that I had to add to my show. and it's a song that I never. It's an artist that I never thought that I would add to my show, and that is Vision. Missing Your Love. Uh,
It's
it's
a good song though.
it's a solid song,
It's a good
vocals
song.
solid, production solid, everything solid, right? And so if it's a solid song, right? I like Vision and I are not friends. We're never going to be friends. We don't even talk to each other. He's blocked, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna deny the community of a song that's solid. You know what I mean? And so that is a song that we have to promote, right? But then you get other ones that is, Juan Pepe from the block, and he just, gets a Casio keyboard, or he can't sing at all. I showed you the video AKT,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
parody,
yeah,
and those are the type of songs that the other countdowns put on their countdowns, and then they want to label themselves like, I'm the only countdown that matters. They're allegedly, of the people or whatever the case may be. But how can you be of the people if there's no people listening to you? It
right.
just doesn't make sense.
You know what's my favorite funny video that you ever put up? I mean,
Which one?
I go back to this all the time and I just die laughing. Is the chick trying to sing Chandelier and they
Yes,
put it over the Planet Rock beat?
yes.
When I'm telling you, I cry watching this video all the time.
And
It was like
if
new freestyle and it's the chick.
if you put the freestyle beat on it, the Planet Rock, everybody will say it's fire. Probably number one in Brazil right now.
Oh my God. Yo, Luis Marte, what's up, bro? Luis Marte's out there.
Big shout outs going out to him. Like I said, it'll probably be like number one with a bullet. The
Yeah, right.
Chandelier song, with a Planet Rock beat. People
With
just
Planet
love
Rock
that.
beat. Oh my God. It's the funniest thing. Like I tell you, I laugh at that
I
all the
love
time.
it.
You said the freestyle fumble bundle.
Yeah, yeah, because that was the speech that Stevie B gave in 2019, right? That we were
Oh,
getting a lot of bad freestyle with the Planet Rock beat from other parts of the world in Germany, from Tanasi 69. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
he was.
yeah.
I'm so glad he's gone. I don't know if he's putting stuff out.
Yeah,
Or,
just like disappeared, right?
yeah, because he killed so many careers. Like if you go back to Volume One, I think Louis Marte is the only song on the whole compilation that's good. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. It's because, and at that time we didn't even get along. I just said it's the only good song on here. Every artist, they messed up every single vocal. Everything was not mixed down well. How do you take the greatest background singer in freestyle in the female category of all time, right? Debbie Cole, and you mess up her song? She sounds horrific in it, right? And nothing happened for anything or any one of those artists that were part of those compilations. As a matter of fact, let me ask you, this is a trivia question. Where is Robert Barco? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's George Michael.
Right, right. That's what I mean. He was like, we scared him away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that's just the way that it
yeah,
is. That's
he's doing the George Michael tribute, George Michael Reborn.
and probably making more money than he would have ever made in freestyle, because
Yeah. Can't
his royalties will be redacted, like the ones
can't
that
can't
Hot used to send.
can't knock the hustle,
Nope. Can't wait to go see
but
him. I would love to see a show with him.
I will go see it. And to expand on that, this is my last question before I get you out of the hot seat. Because we did talk a little bit about like freestyle remakes and stuff on the forum.
Yeah.
But what do you think about people who are outperforming other people's songs that is really not them and they're getting booked like crazy when if they were standing on their own morals and their own music, they would not be getting booked.
Because that's why it's important for people like us who talk about this all the time to be out there in the community giving knowledge, right? So no matter how small the audience or how big, we need to still educate and tell them what facts are. You know, I see that a lot. I think I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Mia should be anywhere singing any Judy Torres song. Um, I don't think that, and it's not because she's not talented, because she is. And Inside Out was the number one song for 2021 for many people. And it was number one song for me for half the year. But
Yeah.
when you introduce an artist with a remake, and the person who sings the song is active, That is a blatant disrespect to the genre of music that we're in.
Well,
And not only that, people are like, oh, but Judy Torres said it was okay. And I say this all the time. What else do you think Judy's gonna tell her? Judy
yeah,
Torres is on Blue Bloods. And by the way, not the only person that's ever remade a Judy Torres song, because in the 90s, LT remade Come Into My Arms. And
yeah,
that song was horrific. So you can't tell, and she gave him a compliment back then too. And
yeah.
so she's just a classy lady
She was
that's
trying
not
to be
gonna
gracious.
she's a classy lady, and she's a consummate professional. People that are watching this right now should take into consideration her behavior. But now, man, like if you're selling your souls to do a remake on stage of a song that doesn't belong to you, unless you have one brand new freestyle song out and you do a couple of covers like you do with bands, and it's just to do a small little intro, little snippet, and it's for
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, but if you're passing yourself off as the artist, that's a
that's
problem
a,
to me.
that's a
That's
problem.
why when you come to Massachusetts and you do shows for me, Peter Fontaine comes here and sings Just Like the Wind. Nobody else sings Just Like the Wind. Not the Brazilian kid that they got from the soup kitchen in Brazil. It's Peter Fontaine. Peter Fontaine comes to sing Just Like the Wind and The Way She Looks
Yeah,
at Me. That is his catalog.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we have to really be, and that how they have the freestyle phonies and stuff like that. Some of the stuff I agree with them and I don't.
yeah.
There are different variations of freestyle groups like the Cover Girls and Expose, and I know that some of them sang a set of this song and some of them sang
Yeah.
a, so for
It's,
me
it's,
I would have them divide the catalog and sing the songs that
it's
they
like
sang.
Angel F. Yeah, it's like the Temptations. But I told you I did a cover of Brandon
Brandon.
Destiny.
Yep.
And I would perform a little piece of it in my set. But now I heard that he's active again. I won't perform that song.
They just re-released the record
Yeah.
on 418 Freestyle, and he's
Hold on,
releasing
yeah.
newer music. So yeah, but the thing is that okay, he's out. All right, no more. Right, just like when they had the Latin Love remix that they made here, a remake that they
Freeze,
made,
Willie
Freeze,
and
Willie
Philip.
Valentine, and Philip Anthony. Uh, this area ate it up. But then once CNR came back, they were like, okay, we're done. We're not doing it anymore. That's
Yeah.
that's the respect that you give. And they weren't doing it to upstage Trilogy. They did it because we used to book them at shows, and it would be Woody will do a song, he'll get off, Freeze, it would be like that. So for the end result, it would be them three doing one song together. And it was for the
GA in
festivals and
the
stuff like that.
house. What's up, George?
Yeah. But I want people to be students of the game, and if I blocked any fans out there, fans, because there's a reason for it. Either you're uneducated in the freestyle genre of our music and you listen to whatever anybody tells you, or it's because you jumped on the bandwagon of someone that wasn't being factual and you believed them. And I'm not gonna argue with people anymore. Plus, you being on my timeline is like you coming over to my house, right? So, the producer never came back to be specific and tell me what artist I didn't play, and
Yeah.
he didn't say what song he was talking about. But I'm sure it was 10 years ago because that producer hasn't done anything freestyle in 10 years, right? So they're holding
And
on
he's
to
still holding a grudge.
holding a grudge and a gripe from 10 years ago, and that's how freestyle is. We never like people are still mad at me for things that I did to them at a festival when I was 22. You know what I mean? Sorry. What can you do?
Angel F said you need to unblock him because y'all need to have another call.
No, I think that Angel F needs to make me some of that food that he makes. When George, that's the only way, right? If I get a plate airlifted, you know what I mean? Like I need a plate because I heard he could throw down in the kitchen. So we should have a freestyle cook off, right? Angel F versus Nick Cologne. I need to see that
Oh, you see
live
that?
and in living color.
And they both
Yes.
were in here too. So let's get that challenge going.
Yeah, big shout out going out to DJ Personal, one of my Community was one of my students, and now he's so good that I could never battle him ever. He's a student that
Yeah.
surpassed the teacher. You know, here I'm gonna show you how to blend. Now he go out blend me, out mix me, out edit, out scratch. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just keep talking.
He
So
said,
Angel,
"Oh, he
Angel
got
F,
you.
Angel,
He can. He said you could even stay there. He
look
said
at
he got you."
GA, look at GA giving um commands and stuff. It's really cool that you started this, you know, because you wanted to try it out, and you've held your audience to the entire thing. Nobody has left, and that shows that you know people want to listen to you. And I think that you should open up your forum to have discussions with people, real discussion,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
you
real
know,
discussions, and
you know,
not just not. I know we talked a lot about the freestyle stuff because you know that's something near and dear to our heart. But I want to talk about I want to
mhm.
talk about everything.
And I know that I mentioned names in this broadcast. By the way, I take responsibility for the names that I mentioned here. And I don't have a problem having a conversation with anybody that I mentioned here. So please don't hit up Jenaro with complaints. And you know, I answered a question that was asked of me about remakes. I think it's a big disrespect if the person who sings a song is active for you to sing their song elsewhere because it's the K7 rule, right? Who's gonna pay to see the main artist that sings a song where Judy Torres could be $5,000 and Mia is 800? It that you know that's not cool. You know, for you to
Yeah,
take that show because the
yeah.
original should be the one that should be
That's
doing
why I
that
said
song.
with Brandon coming back, not that I don't get booked to sing Brandon's song, but it was part of my set. And if he's coming back and he's active, I'm not going to do it.
I was gonna book you and Brandon just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Listen again. Thank you so much for having me here. I've been yapping away, but I love talking about freestyle because you know, like I have so much knowledge of two things, right? Professional
Yeah.
wrestling, professional wrestling, and freestyle, and they're both one and the same. Same behaviors, same everything. If you compare freestyle to pro wrestling, same behavior in both
Same
worlds.
thing.
Same thing. But thank you so much for
Just
having me on.
nobody's getting body slammed yet.
Oh, that's gonna happen when the after COVID shows happen. You know what I mean?
Oh
What you
yeah.
gonna do, Angel F, when CPR mania goes wild on you? I'm gonna lift them up. Boom. Like Andre and Hogan. All right, man. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good
All
night.
right, boss. We'll get
We'll see
up.
you soon.
I'll see you.
Later.
Who else might want to jump in? Thanks for kicking it with me, and I appreciate it.
Anytime.
So, all right. Well, look, since nobody, what are they talking about in here? Let's see. Since they don't want to talk, I know something we can talk about. We talked a little bit online about this a while back because somebody had posted about it, and you were like really going in on about it. Um, about guys and girls not being able to be friends. Remember that? You remember that
Girls,
one?
absolutely. Guys and girls can be friends if they're at a distance. At a distance. If they're too close, somebody always catches feelings.
See, I'm gonna meet you halfway. I don't completely disagree with you, but as I've always said, it depends on how they became friends in the first place. And
Okay.
what I mean by that is this: no guy walks into a place and says, "I want to be her friend."
They sure don't.
That's not what he's thinking. I know that, and you know that. He's looking at her as, "Am I potentially attracted to this woman?" Now,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, I have a lot of very close female friends, but how we became friends automatically kind of it puts up what I call it's now there's a line that doesn't get crossed because they've been either like my friends' girlfriends and they became my friends through that union, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not one of them people. I don't once they're with my friends is like that's not it anymore. And like I even had a couple of friends like that I met them through work, and because our relationship was never built on a potential of could we always remain friends and always stay platonic. But I'm with you. It depends on how they became friends, in my
So I
opinion.
want you to bring JJ on, but I want to say something.
All right.
If a man is interested in a woman, and she wants to be friends first with the guy, that's never going to work.
Never
And
gonna work.
why? When a woman uses the term friend with a man, right, they immediately associate that with friend zone, and then they just start losing interest and will wander off. If a guy is interested in a woman, he's got to make that known from the beginning, and their
Exactly.
interaction have to be on that level. They have to be some kind of like, I'm getting to know you because I want to be with you type of thing. Look, if she's got
Exactly.
makeup on, so she jumps on today. She didn't jump on the other day.
So
I
Jay,
couldn't. Bro, that was like in the middle of the night. I didn't have any makeup on. You want me to go live? No, I
That's okay.
couldn't.
What's funny
I
is
didn't
that
put no foundation on. I'm in here.
I know. I
foundation.
don't have a. There's no filters on this.
Well, hey, foundation is the original filter.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
This is it. This is all you get.
You got the filter on. You look fine.
I don't have any filters on. Usually I'd be all done up because this is when I record videos. This is normally when I record my TikToks, but I
TikTok.
was too tired.
Jose agrees with you, Angel Laugh. He says a man and a woman can't be friends because in the end someone will always want more.
Absolutely.
I
And
don't know about that. This is a good topic. I'm glad. Thank you for bringing me in this topic because there's certain boundaries, and as long as there's a certain line of respect. So that's definitely different because I mean, look, for example, the friendships that I've recently made in the, there's artists and people that I talk to of, male, that I talk to that we would never cross that line. But I think it is true. You have to be at a distance for sure.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm gonna still expand on. I think it's how you became friends. Now I do know some people have a friendship that did evolve because and it became something else down the line or whatever. But for the most part, I think it depends on how you became friends. If you became friends through mutual friends and you guys are just all cool, and there was never sexual tension or attraction, I don't think that that's ever going to happen. Now, if there was ever sexual tension on one part, it's always going to be a problem. So, meaning, if she found him attractive, and then she's like, "Well, we're just going to be friends," but she knows in the back of her mind, she's like, "Given the opportunity, I'm gonna jump all over that." So
Yeah,
that's where it becomes an issue.
I agree. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. As long as there was never, not saying that like an attraction can evolve because that's how sometimes, best friends become lovers and whatnot. And then, this is a good topic too, because let's say, so, Hex asleep right now, but let's say, he meets some chick or whatever. Oh, this is my new friend and whatever. And like all of a sudden, this is like the new friend. And I have a problem with that because it's not that he can't have female friends, because he definitely can, because like I have male, artists and friends calling me all the time, but I have a problem with him being close to a female that he met after us. Because right now, where we are, I'm his best friend.
Right,
Like,
right,
I'm the person he's got to share his secrets with. I'm the one that he wants to share his day with, and vice versa. So if there's a female, it's kind of like, okay, to me, and I'm very confident in myself because I got a lot of stuff going for me. But at the same time, that does reach a point of insecurity in me because my thing is, well, why do you need to be chummy and having those kind of conversations with another female when I'm your best friend? Like, why you need someone else? Like, I'm not enough? I mean,
So,
I
so
don't know. You guys tell me what you think.
best friends don't get jealous of friends having.
Oh, we lost her. Where the hell did she go?
Yeah, there's an echo going on. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what happened. She like
Hold
this.
on, I'm gonna jump back in.
All right.
Give me a
Sorry, I like messed up.
Angel said he's gonna jump back into. He had an echo.
Oh, sorry, I got messed up. I was trying to check my text messages from GA, but I couldn't see it.
Did you get my text? Yeah, I see. But yeah, because I have a few very very good female friends, and as I said, they were involved with my friends And like some of them not even together no more, but they're still my friends. But because of that, as you said, the boundary or whatever the case may be, I've never seen them in any other light except for being my friend. And I think that has a lot to do with it because they were with people that I'm close to. And it's like I just never would see them in that light because they're like sisters now almost. It's weird to say that, but
I mean, you would never see them in that light. And I feel the same way because there's a lot of guys that I feel the same way because of past relationships or whatever. But then you always hear those stories. I mean, it's like the live novella of like, oh, they used to date, but then they broke up and now that I mean, I have somebody who they were in a long-term relationship, they broke up and then they got together and all of a sudden now they're married. So I mean it happens. I just think if there's a certain level of respect there, but again, like I said, it's different if it's so I have a guy that I am very close to, like he's always been there for this is prior to me, me and Heck. So and he's my friend. And then Heck also grew up with somebody in New York that is his like bestie or whatever from New York. So that's different because that's established the way, they established that prior. But my thing is a female becoming a chummy friend, like after we're like already where we're at. I have somewhat of a problem with that. Can he have a girlfriend, like a friend that's a girl? Of course he can. Just the same way, like in the business that I'm at, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm in real estate. I'm gonna meet people all the time. People want to connect with me, but and in the freestyle world, we're at events, we have followers that are like coming at us. So like, yeah, there's just you got to have that boundary, and that's the
one of
problem. Some people don't know the
one
boundary.
of my big triggers, right? My significant other could be friends with whoever they want to be friends with. But my big trigger is this. Oh, he's my friend. Did you used to mess with him? Well, then I have a problem with it. I have a problem with it because, and this is, and Angel, I don't know if you agree with me. The way the male mind works, and I'm a very respectful guy. I don't live my life a certain way, but the way the male mind works is if we had you once, we can always have you. Our mind just works that way. Even if she will never touch you again, in our heads, that's not what we think.
It won't
And
stop him from crossing that respect line with a
right, and it's
comment.
like
You know,
I got a big problem with that. Like if because this guy, oh, that's your friend, but he knows. Oh, so he knows that you look like naked, and he knows this, that. Like, nah, I don't like that.
I
you
have
know,
a problem
you
with
know.
that too.
My thought on this is, if a woman has ever had a man that she thought was a friend confess his feelings to her, then she knows that men and women cannot be friends, because at some point that's going to happen.
Right.
That's,
Agreed.
and if you've ever been in that situation, Jay,
I
I've never,
agreed.
I've never. I think it was only like one friend of mine. I was like 17 years old, and I realized I like this girl. Like she's not my friend. I like her, and I want to pour my heart out to her and this and that. But it wasn't like we were friends for like 15 years, and then all of a sudden, and no, it was like, it happened pretty quick. But I was like, after hanging around with a while, like, you know what? I like her. Like the realization happened. Like I even tried to hook her up with people before the realization happened. Like I think she's good for me. Like I used to be like, hey, you should get with so and so. Like he's a good dude. Like that was our relationship. But the more time I spent with her, after a while, I was like, no, she'd be good for me. And we never got together. The stars never aligned. But that was the only girl that I've ever really been friends with that I was like, I wanted something else. And I was young. So
you know,
But
I think
I
it's
agree,
easier for
Angel, though.
right.
If one time you cross that line, or the thought process that you're gonna cross that line is like no can do. Or it's just like what you said. I have a problem with like, oh yeah, we used to hook up, but now we're friends. Because I have
yeah.
a big I don't care what you say. It's not happening. I'm not okay with it. It's different with your, okay. So here's a good example. So my kids, my son's 25, so it was 25 years ago. And it's funny because Hex oldest is 20, going to be 27. So like that's 25, 26 years ago, and we both have very good relationships with, like, I have a very good relationship with my son's dad, and he has a really good relationship with his kid's mom. And I actually have a relationship with the kid's mom too. So like I think that's a kind of like a get out of jail free pass, because like they had to build that, and it was good because it's healthy for the kids. And their kids, now that they're adults, see the healthy relationship between all of us, and they're like, wow, it's acceptable. And that's fine. That's the only time it's okay. But if you guys hooked up, if the thought process was there, if there was anything, that's a hells to the no, like to the no, to the no.
Yeah,
You know,
you're right.
you know,
You're right.
what I was gonna say was, guys can be friends with girls if they don't find them attractive. I'm sorry, don't kill the messenger. That's true. It's easy for a guy to be friends with a girl that he has no attraction to. I know that women don't necessarily work that way, and they say, "Oh, well, I like this about him or that about him." We tend to look first and then sort it out after, because like Jenaro said, you don't look at a woman and say, "Oh, I love her mind," and you
I
have
want to be her friend.
yeah,
She's just the kind of girl.
somebody I want to be friends with.
No,
I
no.
mean, like, and,
'Cause
and,
most-
and the reality is that people don't say that because they think it makes them look shallow, but it's the truth. It's the God
I
honest
mean, but
human truth.
everybody is pretty to somebody.
True.
Because like
Right,
here's the thing.
but to you,
But
or to
yeah,
me, or beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
yeah. What he's
Like,
saying is, you can't find that person attractive. It doesn't matter if everybody else thinks they're ugly. If you find them attractive, that's when it's going to be a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Some just want
it's
the booty, and George is right. They want to be friends with the booty, and then thank God this guy unblocked me, because he said something pretty interesting earlier. There are 3 reasons why people want to become friends with freestyle artists: fame, popularity, and the hookup.
Ooh.
Okay, that is not true for me. That is not true for me. By the way, none of the 3. No.
I
For me, anyway.
gotta say this as the resident freestyle singer in the room. I have never had what you can really classify as a groupie experience.
Okay, well, the hookup
And
is
I'll
not
be completely honest.
the hookup is not synonymous with sex. It could be backstages. It could be get in for free. You know what I mean? It could be like,
Okay, I got you with the hookup. Okay, I got you.
but it does transcend to the hookup, because there are groupies in every genre that are like, oh, I slept. Like, I'll give you a good example. I work in pro sports. I see athlete groupies in there, and they want to collect those players like trading cards. You know what I'm saying? They want to.
Yo,
And I see
Todd,
that all the
I'm
time.
being completely honest, bro. I never have. Now, I have met girls at a show, and we wound up talking down the line, but it's never been I met this girl at the show, took her back to my house or to the hotel. Never happened. Never happened.
You know
I'm
what?
being completely honest.
You know what? I wouldn't say that on a live either. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I would.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm just kidding, man.
I would totally admit it. I would totally admit it. But it just, for different reasons. Now, I'm not going to say that there has not been girls at shows that threw themselves or this and that and third, but it was just one of them things where things just never went that direction. I didn't live the lifestyle. I didn't get lucky. I mean, I won't go and say certain things 'cause I'm going to have to put people on blast, but it's just, there was times where I was like, but the girls, they're like, nah, and I'm like, ah. But it never happened. Never happened.
I mean, I would think that for artists, and I don't know, I would think that for artists that probably happened a lot like 20 years ago. I mean, now it's like everybody's watching, everybody's in the business. Like, dare you do that? Like in our 20s, we didn't care, we weren't paying attention or whatever.
Oh no,
But and that could have
they're
happened.
still out there. They're still out there in the 40s and the 50s.
Oh no, I know they're out there. I mean, like, they. I mean, even today, in today's world, at the age that we're at, you know, people come at you and they see you're in a relationship and they still disrespect that, and that's so annoying, by the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, people
Maria
still
tells me
do.
they're out there all the time, right, Maria?
If your partner, let's say your partner or you, if neither of you are checking somebody coming into your situation being disrespectful, you are the problem. Not
True.
necessarily the person that's doing the disrespectful people.
Yeah, I mean,
Disrespect.
it's up to you to shut things down. And I will say this.
Agreed.
And you guys may disagree with this, but in my observation of life, and there's always exceptions to the rule, women for the most part want to be pursued to a degree, even if they're interested in you. They'll open the door, but they don't really chase you through the door that much. There are exceptions, but for the most part, they want to make sure, like, they'll give you the and they wait for you to, okay, he wants it, and they reel him in. But it's not like they don't throw themselves at you as hard as guys throw themselves at women. Like, I always use the analogy. I don't care if you got an ugly girlfriend, if she's 300-400 pounds, 500 pounds, 600 pounds. There are more. She's getting hit on more times a day than you get hit on in a whole month to 6 months out of a year. There's always someone after your woman. Always.
And the way to think about it, if you're a guy, is when you're single and you inbox a woman or kind of be flirtatious with her 5-10 women a day, imagine how many guys are doing that exact same thing, right? And then do the math on that. That's one day. 5 or 10 in a day times, 5 days, 50 dudes. This dude did an equation on it. He's like, in a month, a girl is getting hit on over 1,000 times.
Chuck,
She ain't saying no 1,000 times.
No, you're right. When Chuck says I should tell all my groupies that I don't have where I'm going to be May 29th. I will be performing in Chicago on May 29th, so he wants me to let all the groupies know. Maria, you said this is male. You said this is male logic. You want to get in and elaborate on this?
That's not male logic. That's simple math. It's math.
Yeah. No, women get hit on way more than dudes. It's a factor. And it goes back to what I'm saying, because women, yeah, if they're pretty like a guy, they might flirt, they might do this and that. But guys are more, like you said, they're throwing darts all day, trying to
whatever sticks.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Not anymore. Not anymore. I mean, okay, I'll take myself for example. So back in the day, it was hard to, I wasn't chasing nobody, right? Everyone's coming to me, and like, I just wasn't paying attention. But then guys will be respectful usually will be respectful once they see you're with somebody. But females, and I can attest to it in my current situation, is that here's an example. So I have a lot of stalkers, and that number of stalkers diminished as soon as they saw I was in a relationship, right? So Heck up and rising, now he's in the spotlight. I put him there, like, here you go. I put him there, and now these females, they don't care. They're throwing darts all day, and I'm like, I'm right here. I'm here. Even at clubs, even when we go to events.
Darts. In what way do you see them throwing darts?
Oh,
what
they are in the DMs. They're in the DMs. Like, I'll take an example. I was at a freestyle event. But we're in the limelight too. We're not a GA and Jenaro. We're not like all up there, but we're very well known, and we always promote the events that we're going to attend. So our followers naturally come because they know we're going to be there. We're at an event. People they see we're here. I literally was with Heck the whole time. And, we're hugging, we're dancing, we're enjoying ourselves. I leave to go to the bar to get a drink, and I come back, like literally our tables, we're in VIP. Our tables are side by side, and there's this group of girls behind us. I come back with our drinks, and this girl's like got her arm around it. I was like, I could go from classy to ratchet in 2 seconds. And I was like, this is not happening. I walked back and I'm like standing there with my drink, and I got like I am very expressive, and I was like, what is happening right now? Like, I'm about to throw down what is happening right now. And then her friends, she didn't hear me because she had her arm around him, and I was like, what's happening right now?
Hold on. So my girl Samantha, my old label mate from Tasmania, right? She's in here, and she says, she's got a good point. Let's compare it to Instagram guarantee. Girls get more dick pics than guys get female ones. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
true.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, that's a dart. Yes, that's a dart. I don't know why guys think that's a thing. That's a major dart.
That's a major dart.
And then that's like the biggest block.
Why some guys do it? Because it works with some females. And I know this because I've heard some like, I can't stand when dude sends me a dick pic. Like, I got cousins who talk like that, right? I can't stand when a dude sends me a dick pic and then they're like, ooh, but this motherfucker right here though, he could get, you know what I mean? Like, so I've heard them do that. But for all of them, if the dick is on a guy they find attractive, then there could be a chance. That's why dudes do it. I don't do that, but I just do that.
Maria said she don't get worms in her DMs.
People, I'm telling you that, like the whole, like that whole sending the pics, like whether female, male, or whatever. That is I don't know why people do that, because I will, if that ever happens and I find that, like, I will create a OnlyFans page for you, and your stuff will be everywhere. Like,
I hear that's a problem, that a lot of girls get unsolicited ones all the time. I'm not even going to say names, but I even know a freestyle singer that supposedly was just dropping them in there, all kind of inboxes. So, yeah.
Oh, so Samantha said, like,
oh, saying too much.
So Samantha said that no, the girl shouldn't have been able to put her on. Like, I think Heck gets scared because he knows like, I'm coming. Like, he probably didn't know. And then afterwards, the female did come up to me, and she was like, "Hey, I was just joking around. I just like tapped him on the shoulder, and then he turned around and whatever." And I'm like, "Why did you do that? You see that on there?" And then that was it. Like, and then he's got to. And I try to keep my composure, but I'm like, I'm a hothead. Like, don't touch what's mine. And no, you're right. He should say something, but I think he literally was like frozen. Like, what the heck is happening right now? Because it was like seconds when that happened.
Yeah.
And then her friends heard me get mad, so she went to apologize to me because I was literally gonna, like, I'm not gonna hair pull. Like, I'm a black belt. I'm going to hurt you. Like, don't touch what's mine.
Maria said if they send them to her, she's gonna send them to all her friends. But that's just it. They may be like, "Girl, who is that?"
So they weren't going to take a selfie or anything. Then she literally was just like playing around.
Yeah, she was playing around. Don't play around.
Samantha said, "Choke her out."
No, I totally would have.
That you got to pick and choose your battles very carefully when it comes to that, because when you walk into a situation and you're just seeing it for the first time, it's easy to get like that Three's Company syndrome and not know the whole story, and boom, it's too late.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Yes, it is about perception, but here's the thing.
Try to top the nipple.
I totally will, because here's the thing. I tell, and it's just like if Jenaro, if you were like out and about, like people are, girls are gonna approach you. Like I came up to you and I was like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" Like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But just the line of respect. Like you see that someone is with someone else, you should respect that they are with someone else. Like a prime example about the darts and whatever. There's like there's a line of respect. So females have messaged me on TikTok and said, hey, I really want to duet, heck, is it okay? Just, trying to give you that respect. And I appreciate that. And then usually as a sign of respect, they'll tag me on it to make sure I see the duet. And I support that. I've always told people to duet him and support him on stuff like that when he does an open duet, because that means it's like for everybody. But
Yeah.
it's just that line of respect when they cross, knowing that you are like, okay, if we're taking a picture, that's great, but like let go afterwards because I'm gonna grab your hand. Like let go. But yeah.
Isn't the onus of having that respect is on your partner first? Because
Yeah.
we can only do what women allow as men, right? And I'm not saying
Agreed.
your partner would necessarily do something, but respect has to come from your partner first.
Agreed.
You can't assume that someone out there is just going to respect your relationship. Like, why would they?
Agreed.
No,
No,
people.
I agree on that. And let me ask you as a guy. So as guys, it's when a female's like over welcomed her stay. Right? I mean, when it's different if you're standing there talking and that's fine, but like to have your arm around or the way that you take a picture together. Like there's a way that I take a picture with our freestyle family and it's like, oh, that, whatever, unless you're absolutely close to that person. Like, okay, let's take an example. Let's take GA. GA goes into, and he takes a picture and, it's like, geez, okay. And then I'm away. I'm not sitting there hugging him the whole time or have my hand around him while we're still having conversation. Like that's not going to happen. So I think, yes, I think it is up to the other person to put that line of respect. But as a guy, do you typically verbalize like, get off me? Like, what is the proper way?
Well, first of all, you act uncomfortable. You move.
Yeah,
You move.
that's the first thing.
Or you go to put your hand up behind theirs to help guide their hand down away from you. If you're really genuinely uncomfortable, and you're about being respectful, there's a way to do it, just like a woman would. Like if you go to give a woman a hug and she'll like, back away from you,
Yeah.
lean outward, or not make too close of eye contact with them. They're cute. There's a body language you can use for that, but some people don't get it. Samantha, I'll move my arm around her throat.
Girl, I got your back.
White,
I
right?
will be
Samantha
right
White,
behind
Samantha
you.
Hamilton.
I will be
That's
right there.
Samantha White, right?
What was that?
Samantha White, the one commenting.
Yeah. Time. Be sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She lives in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
She's up early. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Gervasio.
Long story short, guys and girls, they really can't be too close to friends. Not if they find one another
If
attractive.
either of the other finds the other attractive, that's the
But
problem.
is that verbalized? Like, okay, let's say we're talking. It's normally not verbalized. So how do you know?
It is never verbalized, and it's never verbalized, I think, until either somebody gets drunk or, in my cases of life, when the snakes have been around, is when they see an opportunity. When the guy is messing up or the girl and him aren't getting along, and all of a sudden here they come. Well, I always thought that, you were this and that, and next thing you know, he's trying to work his way in there. I've only been your friend because, but now he's not around, or here they come.
Listen, Maria keeps saying it depends on age. Maria, I'm telling you something right now. It don't depend on age. If somebody finds you attractive, that age shit is out the window. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, all the rules are off the older you get. In fact, the older you get, the more bold you are.
Agreed.
Life's getting shorter. You got no time to waste.
That's right. Like, hey,
Yes.
look, hey, we could be and all, but you fine. Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like,
But you know what? That is so true. That is so true about being bold because I never went after anybody. But the window, like the small opportunity came about, when I got with Heck, and I was like, you know what? Let me just ask. Like I've already lived half of my life. I know what I want and I don't want. Let me just ask. And like I literally like I went to the extreme for him though, but like I literally like put it out there. Like I I was crazy. And I asked him out. I asked him out. He reached out to me, but I asked him out, like in a really big way. It was like, let's skip the dating and whatever. I'm like, hey, there's a freestyle event in May. It's like a couple months away. You want to go with me? Like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah. And like, I think I dropped $800 right there. I called Charlie Rodriguez. I'm like, yo, I need you to block off this at the event. I want to be alone with this guy.
Wait a minute. So is that the first time you guys hung out? Was that the event 2 months later? Or did you
No, we hung out before then, but before even meeting in person, like we had already been talking for a while, and it's just that emotional connection because we're talking, but we had never met in person. So I was just like, you know what, maybe let me push this along and let's meet at this event. So prior to the event, like months before the event, I was like, we need to meet in person. We can't just like skip the whole dating and not go on a vacation all the way to Miami for an event. So we then we started meeting up like months before. But yeah, I asked him, and I never would have done that, but I was like, you know what? He likes freestyle. I like freestyle. I'm singing duet songs to him in freestyle because freestyle always speaks for me. Let me just do it, and then so that's what happened.
$800 freestyle connection, Jose says.
Legit. This is a true story. You can ask Charlie Rodriguez.
Maria says that she's had a guy friend since the first grade. Any guy that's hanging on that long is totally in love with you. Totally. And he's hoping one day that when you guys are both off, that maybe, just maybe.
So he's gonna be 90. I've always waited my whole life.
Do you agree with that? Because I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school, so the guys that I went to school with in Catholic school, we stayed in school together from kindergarten to 12th grade. And I do have one. From school that I'm still friends with. He's married. He's happily married. And we're friends. Like I know him, but I don't talk to him like on a regular basis.
You don't know that it's happily.
I don't talk to him like regularly.
Let me ask him. Do you find him attractive?
No.
No.
When we were little, yeah. Because we dated in middle school.
Okay, there it is.
That's middle school.
Now it comes out.
There it is.
But
there it is. That's what we talked about. You see?
Middle school. This is like 6th grade.
That don't matter. He always wants to do what he wanted to do, but maybe never did.
No!
Get her off of here.
Is this true? Guys in the chat, put it in. That is not true.
Listen.
This is middle school. We didn't even play in the bottle or kiss. It was check the box yes or no, and I declared he was my boyfriend. That's it.
Okay, then he's waiting for that kiss. He's been waiting a lifetime. He's been waiting.
Hell's to the no on that one. No.
Just wait till he's divorced. He's going
almost any guy friend I had. Samantha said any guy friend that she had long term tried something.
So she knows guys and girls can't be friends. And like I said, if you're
she said now I don't have friends.
You see, that goes back to what I was saying. They found her attractive. But if somebody finds her not attractive, which she is attractive, she just can't have guy friends. You know what? So the ugly bitches got mad guy friends. Mad guy friends.
But remember, but that's relative. Who's ugly and who's pretty is relative. Because somebody's looking at that ugly chick like, She hot.
No,
I
I know.
don't know why, but
I'm talking shit, man. It's for shits and giggles, but
I got
you
you.
know,
I got you.
So I must be, let me tell you something. I must be an ugly bitch then, because listen to this. So I am into a lot of guy things. I'm very hardcore into football. I'm very big into UFC and boxing because of my dad and my brothers. And like, I like guy stuff. I'm like trying to be more girly, like trying to wear makeup and stuff. But like, I've always been a guy's girl. So majority of my friends were guys growing up in college, afterwards or whatever. I just naturally vibe with them because they don't care about anything and they just have whatever. I like the thing that they like that most girls don't like. And so I mean, yeah, I was always everyone's friend. Like I was always in the friend zone with everybody. Like you couldn't cross that line with me.
you put them in the friend zone. You put
I
them in
mean,
the
I
friend.
guess.
That's not where they were trying to be. You put them there. I don't know why women don't want to accept that. The friend zone is a concept that it's a construct that women have created to keep men they aren't interested in at bay. And this is how women can say, I need to be friends with a guy first, because anytime you ever seen the meme with the guy with the sticker, anytime a guy tries to cross that line, the friend sticker.
Friend zone.
Right on the fucking feelings. Whack! Right when he starts pouring them out. You're such a great friend. You're such a great friend. I don't know what I'd do without you, friend. Women have that so ingrained in them that they use the word friend awkwardly. You know what I mean? Just like when it's not even applicable, they'll just, like, I don't know. I can't think of a scenario, but they do use this in weird ways, randomly,
But
for
I
no
was
reason.
single. I was single for a long time. And like my guy friends never like came at me like that. Like I never knew. So if they were, I was just like, we would go watch football. Nothing happened. So to say that I put them in the friend zone, like it's not like anyone tried to be
But
anything other than
it's a
that.
mental thing, though. It's a mental thing. It's like you do it in your head inadvertently. Like, they're all friends. They're all friends.
I mean, yeah, I looked to them as friends because I was so used to, like I said, in high school and college, like in college, believe this. In the summertime, I don't know if any of you were in fraternities, but in the summertime, like there's not really any rules. Like a fraternity house, like my guys, my friends, put a room aside for me, and I had a room in the fraternity house during summer term, and nobody ever tried anything. They were very respectful. I was like off limits to everybody, and like I was just always in the friend zone. So that's why I was single for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why with Heck, I was like, all right, well, he likes freestyle. Let me just see if we can like, let me just
Make it
be
work.
bold and put it out there.
Yeah, Michelle, you're such a great friend. Michelle says I'm such a great friend until she's in my house in that swing. I'm just kidding. No, Maria says I'm a woman hater in that I run the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
GA
Night.
is getting off. He's leaving us. Good
Who's
night,
leaving?
bro.
Night.
Yeah, GA said he's going night night.
Oh, he's going Mimi's. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good night. Jorge. DJ
I
Jorge.
think I love this topic. I think
Yeah, I think
it's
it's
up
a
to the
good
other
one.
person to be respectful, and you can coexist. You can coexist as long as both parties are respectful. Because like Heck knows, like if someone's talking to me at an event and it's a male, like I'm gonna bring the male to him and introduce like, hey, this is so and so, so that he knows like, hey, like there's a line of respect there. I'm never gonna talk to someone like on the corner, like around he's gonna always know, and he'll never question if I'm talking to a male who that is. Like I'll always make sure he knows who it is.
I think with the internet, it's easier to be friends that way because you're never going to cross paths with some of these people. So you can genuinely develop that friendship, even though no matter what you think they look like. If someone's in New York and you're over here and you know you're never going there and they know they're never going around you, you can develop those relationships, but if they're close and you find them attractive, there's a chance somebody could develop feelings. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just trying to be a little realistic.
Agreed.
You know, I know how dudes, and this is why dudes have a problem with, a lot of guys have a problem with their ladies having male friends because they tend to know how guys are.
Yeah, and like the meme says, a shoulder to cry on soon becomes a you know what to ride on.
So I mean, but let's reverse it a little bit. So for a male to be reaching out, like you're in a relationship, for you to be reaching out to a female and keeping that, the communication line open, that's the same thing. Because you as the guy know that they're keeping that connection for a reason. And that's why sometimes I have a problem. Like, why are you keeping that connection?
See, like me, I reach out to a lot of my female friends for perspective and advice on certain things because I don't think like a woman. It's like it's impossible. So sometimes you want to get that feedback, and especially they'll be like, "Well, ask your sister or ask your mom." Sometimes people who have a certain they're going to be on your side no matter what. It's hard to get an open, honest answer because they're going to answer you from a place of how they feel about you. Where if it's a friend, sometimes your friends, even though they love you, they still are still they're open enough to be like, nah, you're out of pocket or you're looking into that wrong. Where your family sometimes we know that we got moms sometimes like, not my son. My son does no wrong, or your sisters are going to have your back regardless, even if you're in the wrong. So I do have female friends, and I get their perspective on things, and I talk to them. They got me through a lot of stuff, and like I said, it's never been a line cross, but like as Angel said, because most of those friendships were built out of something else, not the fact of like I was looking to get with them.
Right. I mean, I think, yes, I think that. And you do need that and as long as the other person knows that there's like that certain line of respect, like if I call GA and I talk to GA for a while and get advice or whatever, like, Heck knows there's that line of respect between he knows that GA respects our relationship. And like same thing for Lumati, like and for Daisy, like she knows I respect their relationship, so then that's okay.
What's up, Artie? Artie's in the house. Yeah, I mean it's it's a slippery slope. I don't carry my past relationship baggage as much as I can into new relationships because I like to give everybody a clean slate. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's responsible for their actions. I don't like to be like, well, because the last girl did this, so I know this is going to be this way. Like I said, there's some red flags, like we talked about. If she was already with the guy and, oh, it didn't work out, so now we're just friends, I don't like it.
So I feel the same way. I feel the same way about that because I told Heck when we first got together, I said, you know what? Most people, when you get together, they'll ask you, oh, what happened with your last relationship? Who is this? Da, 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 da. And I said, no, I don't want to know that. Like, if you want to volunteer that information to me, that's great because who you were with that person, like, let's say you cheated on that person or whatever the case may be, like, who you were with that person was based on how your relationship was, how she was with you, and at the point of your life when you were with that person, that's who you were back then. I'm only going to judge you based on how you treat me here and now, and that's how I move forward. So,
and that's a sign of maturity, and a lot of people they don't have that. So the minute you don't answer the phone fast enough, their mind starts going, "Oh, well, the last guy was doing this. He didn't answer the phone fast enough." Because
let me speak to that
all
topic
right.
real quick.
All right.
Let's go.
This is a good one and this is a deep one, right? But
very much so.
Everyone here should know what a love language is, right? And
yes.
If you don't, I'll break them down for you. But Jenaro, Jay, right?
Yes.
Only the people watching know. A lot of times when people are mad about certain things, they're mad because their love language isn't being spoke to them. It's not that they're upset about you didn't answer fast enough. Maybe you haven't been giving me quality time, and so now everything that you do that requires you giving quality time to someone else is working my nerves because you haven't been giving it to me. You know what I
Well,
mean?
no, I think it's a little different. Like what we're talking about is people who bring their past experiences into the new relationship, and they're judging you based on what somebody else did. Now I know about the
Right.
love language thing, and I think that's a little bit different. That's when
I'm
we're talking about because I'm
relevant.
not meeting her certain expectations in her love life, but just to be like, because the last dude when he went MIA and didn't answer the phone within 15 minutes is because he was messing with the secretary at the job, and now she's
Right.
worried about it.
See, that's all. It's all relative to this because that person that's bringing that into this new relationship probably has no idea why they felt the way they felt.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't know what a love language is whatsoever. So they're complaining that, oh, why do you help so and so move and help so and so do this, and you're doing this and that, but you are not helping them around the house. So they develop this thing. I hate when my person's out helping, doing something for other people because they want acts of service at home. You know what I mean?
Right.
And these things in their heads that you think are like, oh, you're carrying baggage from another relationship. No, they're carrying baggage because they don't know that this is the way they want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? It is relevant. It's a relevant way of looking at it. So if you meet people, like, you got to evangelize love language to people the way that people evangelize church because they don't understand what I can't tell you how many grown adults I've talked to that are 40 plus years old that have never heard of this. They've
Yeah.
There's
never.
a lot of people that have not heard of
Yeah.
the love language.
Right, and it's huge. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because every little thing that you're not
Maria
getting.
said they're insecure and damaged.
No, you
Um,
see, that's even part of that comes from the love language, even the insecurities, because they weren't getting their love the way they want, so they feel like nobody can give it to them. So now they're a bag of nerves when it comes to relationships because they don't know what they need. They
yeah.
don't know what they need. It really does. It really transcends just the surface issues, I think.
Right. I got you. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't. I
But
don't. I don't. I don't disagree. I don't
you know,
disagree.
let
Um.
everybody have shitty relationships. Don't learn about love languages. Just jump from one person to the next, passing your hurt on.
You should take the time to learn love languages. You'll have everyone. If you don't know what a love language is, you need to read up on it, watch a YouTube video on it. It's definitely different. It's because the person might be resisting you, and you think it's just like what he said. You think the person's resisting you. It's not that they're resisting you. You just not loving them the way that they need to be loved.
You
So
know,
that's a huge thing.
that
But
also transcends just loving someone because a love language is also related to the way you accept an apology, right? Like if you do me wrong, you don't just get to bake me a cake and say you're good. I'm sorry, I baked you a cake. We should be done now. No, I might need some quality time out of you for that, or I might need you to like really have a good conversation with me. I just don't need you to cook me something, and we should be good. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
yeah, but lots of people don't even know. Like you said, they don't even know how they need to be loved. They don't even realize it. It's just such a.
There's a
It's
test.
a
There's a
man.
But
test.
But females typically, more females than males, but females will typically give you hints because they're gonna always remember this. This is a good rule for love languages. When you're trying to figure out someone else's love language, they're gonna love you the way that they want to be loved. So, for example, like I'll tell you this. There is no doubt in my mind that Heck knows he is the center of my universe. He's the most handsome man in the whole universe. Like, I love that guy. And like, he would never question that. And I verbalize it to him like every day in different ways, right? And I send him text messages or whatever.
So you need
I
words of
do that. That's my language. That's my love language. Like, I want that. I want that. like, there's no doubt. I mean, his head's probably like this, right?
That's
Because
right.
I'm telling him like, you are hot, you are the sexiest man in the universe, and like that's my love language. I want you to tell me I'm pretty. I want you to tell me I'm beautiful every day. I want you to make me feel like, because I tell him all the time, like, you know what? I pray for you. I thank God every day that you're in my life. Like, those are my love languages. So people, whether male or female, will typically love you in the way that they want to be loved back. So when
Right.
you don't give it to them in that way, that's where people start to bump heads. Well, it's like some people just want you to hug them and kiss them and hold them all the time, which I'm all for that too. But like that's not necessarily their love language. They want it proclaimed. They want it like out there. Like, some people's love language is like, can you make a Facebook official? I mean, like whatever your love language is, like they will normally treat you in the way that they want to
I
be
get
treated.
that. Yeah, I got that. I got you. Yeah, people treat people the way they want to be treated.
Yeah. The sad part is you can't always treat people the way you want to be treated because they might want to be treated different. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? I don't know
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
because like my love language is different than Heck's love language. Like he's
Right.
more like actions and stuff versus words.
Right. And so that literally right there, that what you need to do for someone, to make them feel loved and have them understand that you're reciprocating it to them, makes love a choice. Right? Love is a choice. You have to do the acts that create love, that grow love, that bind love, right? And some people think, oh, you have no choice in the matter, but you do. Because if you don't do what it takes to show the person that you love them, they're not going to love you back.
Or they're going to start to feel unappreciated, and then they wander, or they drop, or it falls apart.
So, okay, I have a question for you guys. So, okay, let's say after a while of you not getting receiving the love language that you want or need or seek or need in your life, if you verbalize, do you actually like let it ride, like, you know what, it's just not happening? Or are you like, hey, I really need this, or I really like it if you did this more? Like, do you receive that message and actually make the change even though that's not you? Because so if my love language is like, tell me I'm pretty, right? I tell you to tell me I'm pretty, but now it's like I'm forcing you to tell me I'm pretty, but then that's not your way of communicating to me. If you don't make that adjustment, or do you make the adjustment? That's the thing. Like, did
That's
you
the
hear? Like, I'm trying to
that's
tell
what,
you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Angel?
I said that's what makes love the choice, right?
Yeah.
That you, if you do it, it's choosing to love them and make sure they feel loved. I think.
But do they tell you? Do you tell them like, hey, you're not loving me right. You're not
I
loving me the way
I
I want to be loved.
I will literally break it down to somebody that I'm seeing. Look, I need like I'm telling you right now, I'm a quality time person and I'm a physical touch person, right? Hugs, whatever, cuddles, shit like that. And I'm big, I'm fluffy, I'm cuddable. I'm cuddleable, right? No, but like I will straight up tell somebody, like I need this, and if I don't get this, I'll tell you right now, I'll lose interest or I'll just wander off. Like, because you have to do that. You have to let them know. People don't know what they don't know, and you can't assume someone is sharp enough to just pick up on it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I always say, and it's a whole other topic itself. But I always say that relationships fail lots of times because people lie. And what I mean by this is they lie to themselves as well as they lie to you. Like we'll lie and say you think you can deal with certain shortcomings when in reality it's a deal breaker for you. But you say to yourself, "Oh, but they're so nice. Oh, well, they treat me like this." So, but there's this non-negotiable that I really wish that they had, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to accept it. But the reality is, you really can't live without that certain thing. This could be anything from if you like blondes and you get with this brunette because she's so nice and so sweet. But in the back of your mind, you're like, man, I really wish she was a blonde. I really wish she was a blonde. You're lying to yourself because now you're trying to force this thing to fit when it's really not going to fit because you're never going to be exactly fulfilled the way you want to. And I think people they tell lies like that. Like, you know, when the girls go and they say they want to date a guy who's 6'5", and they meet a guy who's, you know, 5'9", but he's great. And like, oh, he's so nice. But really, she's like, I need a guy that's 6'5". I need a guy that's 6'5". In the back of her mind, as soon as she's upset with him, you little short son. That's you know, that's it, because she never wanted to be with a guy that didn't fit her idea or whatever. And yeah, people can learn to love each other, learn to accept stuff, but I think we have to be honest with ourselves just as much as we're honest with the other person.
So,
I
Samantha,
agree.
I want to comment on what Samantha said. Samantha
Uh-oh,
said
what
if
she said.
someone treat you a certain way, then you know, that sucks in a relationship. But telling someone what you need to feel loved in the relationship is part of the communication of the relationship in and of itself, right? Like, you
Right.
sometimes people just don't understand that you're not getting enough help around the house, so you just feel, you know, unappreciated because they don't take out the garbage, they aren't helping you with the kids or doing the laundry or getting food started, and to take the burden off your plate, right? Like that's a love language, an act of service, right? Or someone's, you know, you're not buying somebody leaving them a little note or a card like you used to, and they don't feel loved by you anymore. You, they got to tell you that, hey, you used to do this and now you don't anymore. You know what I mean? And I like that. That's them telling you, hey, that's my love language. I need that. So, you know,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
she says saying when you gotta force it, and it's a fight to force them constantly over the same thing. Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh,
too
no,
much.
I'm not saying force it. I'm saying you tell somebody, and then it's on them to make the choice. And if they don't make the choice, then they don't want to love you. Then you move on.
Yeah,
You know.
agreed
That,
on that because
and
you're making it known, like this is how it's making me feel. And if they don't value what's bothering you enough to make the adjustment, then that's a sign.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then, you know, some
you're right.
people literally cannot make that adjustment, and those people sometimes need therapy because they have other bigger issues going on. Disagree with that. I could admire.
Height, but love isn't always what you thought it. What falls in front of you. Well, no, I mean, I think you can fall in love with someone that's not your type. But what I mean is, like, there's just certain. I don't want to turn this into like a vulgar topic, but if you like a girl with a big butt and you fall in love with this great girl with a flat ass, in the back of your mind, you're always gonna want a girl with a big butt because that is like it's a non-negotiable for you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't find someone who's great. I'm talking about in the back of your mind, like, I really like this girl, but I really wish she had this thing that I like, or whatever the case may be. And the same thing goes with guys. So I'm not saying like just a height thing. I mean, yeah, you can fall in love with someone who's not your type. I'm not saying to be that shallow, but I'm just saying what's in your mind a non-negotiable. Like someone want to say, I don't want to be with a man who has children. I don't want a man with children. And then they meet this great guy and he's got kids. And then they say, well, you know, I'm going to give it a shot, but they really don't like kids. Is the relationship going to work? It could, but it's a challenge. It's already been, you already thought of a big challenge in a relationship that you know you kind of don't want to be in.
They got BBLs now, so anybody can have big booty. But
I'm just hypothetically.
I'm playing. But yeah, you know, I got a couple
I
like
mean, they got hair dye, they got penis extensions, they got all kind of stuff, but that's not what this is about.
They can morph into whatever they wanted.
well, like, you know, if you got a non-negotiable, you kind of got to say it up front and let them know. Like for example, I like a woman that has a pretty face, but I like a woman who can be intellectual because I need that stimulation too, right? So if she don't got no brains, probably not gonna work out. And again,
Yeah,
I might like her face and her booty, and I might hang out with it for a while. But if she don't got brains, I won't stay long.
I hear you. I hear you. I got so many topics, and I'm gonna give them all away because
Oh,
I gotta do this.
yeah.
I gotta do this. Huh?
How long you been at this, man?
We've been on for a little while now.
Oh, okay.
Gotta be about damn. It's gotta be about 2 hours. It's gotta be about 2 hours, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about two
Samantha's
hours. 2 hours.
she's got to go. I'm sure she's gonna have something amazing like a poke bowl or a loco moco. No, just all stereotyping. I'm just kidding.
Yum.
Yeah, but I won't go because like I said, I got some other topics that's still like in this realm, and I won't give them all the way down. Say some stuff for some other time. But no, this has been good. Like I said, I knew me and Angel we had kind of talked about this a little bit online before, so I just thought it was a good thing to like expand on. I know it's something that people can relate to. I'm sure
Hope
people
it
have
a bit.
had these same discussions in their lives with the friends and stuff like that because I mean I've been through the ringer with an ex and the friend stuff. It's like oh it was bad. It was bad. You know,
Ooh.
she said to me one day, "Well, how come you can have female friends and I can't have male friends?" And my response is not so nice, but
So what do you say?
I, I said because I don't screw my female friends, you tend to screw your male friends, so there tends to be lying the problem. So I
Oh, man.
mean, I mean that's like saying how come you can't go in the store because you're a klepto, but I can go in the store and I'm not stealing anything. Why the hell
That's
I'm stealing?
yeah.
And that's
That's
that's another thing. Like, why should I be punished because you can't conduct yourself a certain way? Like, oh, so now you are allowed to have friends. I was allowed to have friends. You did all this other junk. So now because you messed up somewhere, now I'm supposed to be punished? Nah, that doesn't work like that.
I've seen somebody go out and say, "Oh, I get to have the drunk person today." Like because their partner got drunk, and they know how their partner is when their partner drinks.
Right,
So
right.
problem with their partner going out to drink without them because they know how their partner gets, right?
Exactly.
I totally get that point right there. It's
She's
yeah.
you go out all the time. What's the problem? Why can't I go out? Well, because when you go out, you fucking lose house keys or start fights or sleeping around with anybody. What?
right, right, right.
That's why you can't go.
Exactly.
Agreed.
But at the same time, is if you got to control somebody like that, just you
It's
like
not.
you're
Yeah. That's
curb what you
And that's
do.
just the thing. Like I'm not that guy. I don't wanna ruin anybody's life. I want them to make their own mind and make their own decisions. If you love and respect somebody enough, you're not gonna put yourself in certain situations to have yourself doing what you shouldn't be doing or embarrassing your partner or whatever the case may be. Like, you gotta conduct yourself accordingly. But I've never been one of those guys that's like trying to control the woman's every move because to me, if that's what you're doing, then what's the point of the relationship?
Mhm.
You're literally controlling someone's every move to try to be what? Happy? That's not happiness. Because if I'm forcing you to be faithful to me, if I'm forcing you to honor me and forcing you to love me, then it's not worth it.
I tell Heck all the time. I said, even when you're not here, you're here. Like,
Right.
I'm always going to act accordingly. I'm not going to have, there's not going to be a conversation. There's not going to be a situation. I'm not going to put myself, nor will I welcome or allow anyone to cross that line in a conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to be I don't want to be, controlling. I want to matter. You want to matter to that person. Okay, if they're out and regardless if they see 100 different, guys, you're the one. You know what I'm saying? We all want that. I mean, of course, there's going to be people out there that's attractive and, we're all human beings. We're going to see somebody who we think is hot and we're going to look or whatever the case may be. But we all want to matter. We all want to be like, that someone's going to choose us at the end of the day.
Right.
I
Just
agree.
if people out there attractive and whatever, just don't bring them home as a friend.
or especially like, oh, this is my friend so and so, and then you're just sitting there like they're just
Why?
telling stories, and you're like, Finally, the friend leaves. You screwed him. Well, I mean, there was this one time back in. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
You
that's
mean
a no.
like if you date somebody in middle school and you're still friends with them to this day?
You only check the box. I don't think you can count that. There was no spin the bottle. There's none of that.
You know,
Yeah, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Yeah, it's but this has been good. Like I said, I definitely want to do it again. I hope we've been entertaining to everybody for the first jump in with Jenaro session.
I love it.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's been this is what I'm gonna do. I want to talk about music, but I want to talk about real life things that affect us, even family topics. Just different things because we all go through stuff, and somebody's got other perspectives on it. Help you make decisions, navigate this thing we call life.
Agreed. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Very
it was a pleasure. I'm glad they suggested to bring you on because Maria punked out.
Maria's
Maria punked out. Next, when we had the fire discussion, that's when Maria's gonna come on.
Maria's the keyboard warrior.
Yeah, because everything in freestyle is fire, so that gets Maria triggered.
Yes, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm always open and real, so feel free to invite me to these. I love this.
I definitely will. Like I said, it won't be like a nightly thing, but it will probably always be more towards the late night. Just because of my line of work, this is when I tend to be free. So I can't do the early mornings like GA and middays. I'm usually at work still. So
And usually I'm like recording videos, so I'm normally like all done up at this time, but I just didn't record videos today.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine.
Are you on your regular page right now, or is this like an artist page?
This is my regular page.
Okay. Do you have an artist page or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got Jenaro Music Artist page. Yes. So maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it from there next time.
You probably should, because then anybody could jump in. They don't have to be your friend. You know what I mean? Or anybody can join the conversation. If you're going to do it regularly, you should probably do it from there, because it leaves it.
Good idea. Didn't really think about it that way, but no, I like that.
You can set reminders and like invites if you do it from the other page, so like people can know and remember. Because you can't do it on the regular page.
Yeah, kind of limited on the regular page. Got it. Yeah, I'll do that then. Go from the Jenaro Music Artist page. So if you haven't, go to the Jenaro Music page and like it, and that way you can keep updated. If you didn't already, I'll send out some invites to everybody, and I'll try to get it updated a little more because I do all my stuff mostly through here, unfortunately. But
yeah.
Well, it's been real, everybody. I'm gonna let everybody
it's been real. Have a good night.
Good night, or finish watching Ozark. I already finished, so I ain't gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna ruin it for nobody.
See you guys.
Yeah,
coming soon. See you guys. Coming soon.
All right.
Coming soon.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple. I'll see you in like a month, Angel. I'll be up there.
You gotta come by and eat.
Oh yeah? Okay. I'm down.
Yeah, you be with George, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming in. I'm coming in the day before the show.
He always stops. You can stop with him or without him. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna be in the same place or whatever. So.
Yeah, we'll talk.
I'm jealous. All right, talk to you guys soon.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. I will. Oh, Maria's going to your house to eat too, Angel.
All right, Maria, you're welcome.
Later. All right, everybody. Again, thanks for tuning in. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. We're gonna keep it going for the next time. I got some more topics, got some insights and inputs. Remember, and if there's something you guys want to talk about, inbox me. I won't say it came from you unless you want me to say it came from you, then I will. But other than that, you can like, hey, why don't you talk about this, talk about that. I want that kind of stuff to go on. But I thought this was great. The interaction was great with everybody. and I had a good time, and I can't wait to do it again. Yeah, I think so too, Teresa. That conversations like this are refreshing. It gets us away from the freestyle hoopla that we are dealing with so much out there in this community of ours. But no, this was good. This was fun. I really enjoyed it. As everybody can see, I love talking. I've been talking my whole life. My mom used to always tell me I talk too much, so but I enjoy this stuff, and I hope you guys did too. And we're gonna keep it going. So tune into the next Jump In with Jenaro. And like I said, send me topics if you guys got some, and be sure to I'll probably send out the invites for people to like my artist page, Jenaro music page. All righty. So good night, everybody who hung out with me. I appreciate all y'all. This was, like I said, it was great. I had a real good time. And hey, post about it, talk about it, tell people, hey, you had a good time. So maybe we can build this thing up and really get more people in here, and get people something to see besides all the craziness out there. It's all right, Carol. I'll repost it up, so you'll be able to see it. And actually, I'm going to probably wind up sharing it too to CPR's page, even though he's got some of y'all blocked as you talked about. But I'm going to make sure that I put it up so you can always watch the replay. All right. So good night, everybody, and thanks for being here with me. I appreciate all of y'all. Much love, and stay safe. And until the next time, Jump In with Jenaro. See y'all.